why AC is so important, especially being a CEO, and how it can actually help you to be more productive.
What's going on, people? We've got some exciting news. So today I'm actually getting AC fitted in my new build flat. And the funny thing is, I moved in last year May and I was using a cooler, and it was so difficult during the summer. The months were so hot, and for me personally, I always say this, I love sleeping when it's cold, and that's when I get the best night's sleep. So we're in February at the moment, and we've got the team from Debonair Cooling coming in to do the AC, and I'm super excited. And you can even see right now, I want to show you like a little B-roll clip coming up. It's 23 degrees and it's in February. So imagine when it comes to May, June, July, it's gonna be hot days, and I wanna make sure I've got AC fitted, so follow us on the journey. So when I moved in last year, May, June, July, it was really hot and I needed a short-term solution. Of course, I spent a lot of money on the new build flat, as you can see, and I needed a short-term solution. So this was the solution at the time. But the problem is with this, it's really noisy. It's a difficult setup because you need to put the pipe through the window. It was kind of annoying. And then also, it wasn't giving the cooling effect that I needed. A lot of the time when you get these machines, right, it takes up a lot of space. With an AC unit, it's on the corner of your house, on your flat or your house. This, it takes up a lot of space. That's one point. Another thing is that there's noise pollution because you've got to keep the window open, the pipes going through. You're also getting all the dust coming in. There is a lot of downsides to this, so I wouldn't recommend this. Even as a short-term solution, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend you save that money and go straight to AC, because you're going to spend an extra 500 to 1,000, but what you're getting from that is long-term. For the next 5 to 10 years, you've got an AC unit, and even with that company, they're going to provide you with the maintenance, but you're way better off than getting this, and actually way better for your health as well. So I knew, okay, the only other solution is AC, but obviously AC is not super popular in London, of course, right? So I needed to know who's going to be the best at this, and I'm going to come to the story of how I got to know Debonair Cooling. So as you can see, it might be difficult to see, but you can see right now it's 23 degrees and we're in February. So that shows how hot it is inside already and the need for AC, especially in those hotter months. So when we get to July, that might be going up to like 30 degrees, 30 to 35. And so imagine how much you're roasting inside. So having that AC unit to bring that temperature down, not just here, but also in the other rooms, it's gonna be amazing. So just to add to that, especially how climate change is going, it's getting hotter. These flats retain a lot of heat. Whoever's watching this, probably maybe you're in a new build flat or you're in an apartment, you know that the apartments retain quite a lot of heat. And so you need a viable solution for that, and especially a long-term solution, because just having a fan is not gonna do anything. You're just blowing hot air onto yourself, especially with the cooler. It's not the best options. So investing into an AC unit is the best option. So we're mid-installation at the moment. As you can see, they've installed the outside unit, which is pretty massive, but this is where all the magic happens. And then we've got the inside unit as well. As you can see, you know, the team's cleaning up after themselves. They're making sure that the wiring is done properly, the trunking, and it's all really clean and smooth. And that's exactly what you want. You want a team to come into your place to be able to make sure that they're not leaving any mess and the job is done to a high quality of standard. Once it's done, we'll show you how the AC is working. Looking forward to the result. Cool, so we have now come to the final stage of the installation. This is just a testing phase of seeing if it's working, and I can feel the blowing cold air, which is so nice. What we'll do is I'm gonna use it for the next week and see how it is. If there's any issues, we can let them know, let the team know, of course. But really excited to have the AC. The owner of Debonair, he's like, look, you only need one unit for the whole place. He's gonna, it's gonna cool all the rooms, so we'll look forward to seeing the results. So, story time. So how did I find Debonair Cooling? Interesting story. So when we moved into, I've actually got a laser clinic, if you don't know by now. We needed an AC unit in one of the rooms. So we have AC unit in the other rooms, but we needed it in one of the rooms. And my friend Emre actually recommended me to Arya, who's the owner of Debonair Cooling. He mentioned that, you know, they can help with the AC. So, you know, met up with Arya, and he told me that, yeah, this is an easy job. Got that sorted, job was done, very smooth, you know, there was no problems, and that was amazing. And then my brother actually wanted to get AC done in his place. And this was looking about kind of, you know, 8 to 12 months ago during the summer months. He was struggling as well because he's in a new build flat. He wanted 2 units, one in his room and one in the kind of the main lounge area. They did that job, that was impeccable. You know, they even, you know, helped with the coloring of the actual unit. So if you've got, you know, an interior designer who's done your place in a nice way and you want to make sure it's matching that, then they can help you with that as well, especially with the trunk and everything. You don't want a job that is looking a bit like it's done from someone on Gumtree. You know, you want someone who's done the job properly, and that's where Debonair Cooling comes into it. And before I went with them, I did check the normal way, even though it was recommended me through a friend. I went on Google, I saw the Google reviews. You know, I wanted to see, is this guy legit, even though it's recommended through a friend. And then obviously built that connection, you know, obviously after getting to know him. Now we're at a stage now where I'm ready to get it in my place. There's no issues from knowing that this team can do the job. And furthermore, they actually done a job for me in Birmingham as well. So, you know, we've got a clinic in Birmingham now too. So they've done quite a few jobs, and I know that they're good at what they do. That was a little story that you guys needed to know of how I actually got to know Debonair Cooling.
It's been 2 months since I installed my AC unit in my apartment, and it's been amazing. Obviously, as you know, it's been the heatwave in London, UK, and it's been absolutely crazy hot. And if I didn't have this installed, I think I would be struggling. Especially being in a 3rd floor building, it would be very, very difficult to be able to sleep at night. I'm someone who, you know, likes the room to be cold, and that really helps my sleeping. And I think your sleep is so important, it sets you up for the rest of the day. Especially if you want to be productive in the morning, I do think that you need a very good night's sleep. And so today I'm going to go through a few bits about why AC is so important, especially being a CEO, and how it can actually help you to be more productive in your business or your work. So before I had the AC installed in the apartment, I was using a cooler, and the cooler was good, you know, it was doing a decent job. But when it got to where we are now, especially in the heat wave, it just wasn't giving the right amount of temperature that I wanted. For example, the temperature that the property was getting up to was around 28, 29 degrees. And as you know, that is, you know, gonna maintain the heat in the bedroom, and that's not what you want. So by using the AC now, the temperature is going down to a stable 22, even going down to 21. And that's keeping the room cool, and exactly what I wanted. Yeah, so working from home is obviously something that I do time to time, and I think if the room's hot, it's so difficult to concentrate and actually do some work. So with the AC now, I can maintain it on a temperature of 19 degrees or 20 degrees. I've got air flowing through, and I'm able to do work. So I think having an AC is way better than having a cooler, because the cooler also makes way more noise. It heats up sometimes, and then it stops working. And with the AC, you actually have a good, cool flow of air throughout the day. I think it's important to invest in yourself. So the reason why I said to myself, okay, I need to get this, is because I know that I'm working from home at times. I also know that, you know, where you're living is very important. So that is going to affect what you're doing outside. If I'm sleeping well, then I know that when I do work outside or I'm going to my business, I'm set for the day. If I have a bad night's sleep because it's been hot and I've you know, waking up 2-3 times in the night, it's going to affect me for the rest of the day. So if you put an investment in whatever it's going to be, you know, for example, 2 to 3K for an AC unit, that in the long run is going to pay off into your work, into your lifestyle. So the install day was actually really, really good. The team I was working with did the install amazing. In total, it took about 3 hours. So, you know, they were inside the property doing what they needed to do, you know, drill a few holes, for example. They needed to make sure that the AC was working, of course, so they did the tests. They needed access to the outside of the property to make sure they, you know, they had the unit outside. So obviously, it comes with the unit outside and the unit inside. And in terms of, you know, generally, I, you know, just left them to it. And then when I came back after a couple of hours, it was done. And the AC was pretty much installed. So no hassle from my side. Pretty much it's a clean process. I think the reaction straight away was like, yes, you know, it's like you just feel relieved because you know that you've got cool air now, especially now with the heat wave going on in London. I think it's a lot of people are starting to realize we have a problem in the UK, which is we're not used to the heat. And so people are starting to think, okay, I need to get an AC. So I think getting an done now was probably the best time to get it. So I went with a team called Debonair Cooling, and the team is based in northwest London. Yeah, the job was great. They had all the tools they needed to actually clean up everything after they were drilling. So they were using a Hoover, for example, for all the dust that was made. Any wires that were left around, you know, they put that in the bin, for example. Overall, you know, they left it neat and tidy. I feel like it's just so important when you're working, cleaning up as you're going is so important, and they were doing that. When I was watching them do the install itself, they were doing that. So you've got no problems in terms of make sure that the job is neat and tidy. Yeah, so the two lads were explaining how the process is going to be like, so where they need to drill, because obviously having a hole in your wall is something to be, you know, you need to think about, is this where you want it to be? And so once that hole is made, kind of know going back, to be honest. So I had to make sure that I knew where it's going to be, what the process is going to be, how much sound it's going to make as well, and then how long it's going to take roughly too. So they gave me all the information, especially in the beginning, but also at the end of the installation, and how to actually use the AC. this is a Daikin AC, and they told me all the controls, how to set it to a certain temperature, for example, or if you want to do it on a timed mode. So it's got different modes on there as well. So the job felt professional start to finish. I would say even from the start, when I acquired and wanted the AC myself, when they did the survey, and then also how the team followed up as well. So after they've installed the AC, they were asking after, is the AC working? Do you have any problems? Is it blowing the right, cool air, for example? Because sometimes you might get cool air, then it might turn to hot air. Maybe there's something wrong with the AC. Initially, there was one thing that I was concerned about, and I quickly asked them what it was, and they sorted it out straight away. It was actually no problem. It's just that I just thought that one of the buttons wasn't working, and it worked, and it was actually completely fine. So the good thing is you have the aftercare too, and that's something you definitely want when you're going with a company. You want to make sure that the company is giving you the right aftercare especially when you're spending over £2,000 to £3,000. It's a lot of money for something that you're going to be using on a day-to-day basis, and you want to make sure that investment is right. So going with the right team is very important. And the good thing is, after spending that much money on this AC unit, I know that I'm good for the next 10 years. Because once you've made an investment into your air conditioning unit, all you need is maybe some checkups throughout the next couple of years to make sure that the unit is completely working fine, there's no issues in the unit, and that way I don't need to worry about buying a fan every year or two or buying a cooler. A lot of the times what happens is throughout the winter, people don't use the AC or they don't use a fan. And then when it comes to the heat wave, they panic and then buy a fan or buy a cooler. And then the next year it might break down, and then they buy another cooler, buy another fan. So in total, in the next 5 years, you're probably spending 2 to 3K. But if you had just made the investment of the AC unit itself, you would have actually saved money in the long run. And this is something that I do in my own business, which is for laser hair removal as an example, right? If you could spend money on laser hair removal and spend on that machine, you're going to get that results long term. So it comes back to my business videos, which is always think about what you're investing into yourself, and do that with certain things such as the AC. Or if you're going to be taking care of your skin, go for the good brand, go for the good quality of products, because that way it's going to help you in the long run. Yeah, so it's been just over 2 months now, and I'm really happy that I've got it done. I think it was the best timing to get it done just before summer started. It's getting to that time where this is the best test. Is the AC going to work? Is it going to work long? Because I'm going to keep it overnight. For example, I'm going to keep it on overnight. I might even keep it on during the day. So when I come back home, potentially going to the office or going to a meeting, come back home to a cool room is what I like. I think that actually is one of the best reasons to why I would recommend getting this investment done. So super happy with Debonair Cooling. Would 100% go back to them. I've actually used them in my business. So in Laser Me Out, I've used them for one of the rooms, and I've also used them back in Birmingham for another clinic, which is part of Laser Me Out too. Every time they've done the job, they've done it to a high specification. So you can count on them no matter where you want to get it done. If it's in a house, in an apartment, or you want to get it done in your business, a commercial unit, for example, you can rely on them. So overall, I think the experience has been amazing from start to finish. My verdict is that if you are looking for a long-term solution in terms of cooling your home or wherever you are, maybe your office as well, you definitely need to invest into air conditioning in the long run. Because as I said previously before, there's certain things you can do short-term. And there's a lot of short-term fixes. But if you want a long-term solution that you're going to invest a certain amount of money in at the start, and it's going to last you the longest, this is the best option to go with. So just to wrap up, Debonair Cooling is where you need to go for your AC needs. Anything you need to do from air conditioning, do reach out to them. Team are amazing from start to finish, especially now that I've had it for over 2 months. I've actually tried and tested. I'm using it on a daily basis, and I highly recommend them.